Welcome to Around the Majors, Major League Baseball trade deadline talk. We got Alex Campbell fired up, Alex, and I had to bring a little bit of snow because I'm in Canada. It's snow. Well, it's not really snowing. It's like 35 degrees, but whatever. All right. Brian, snowman in the morning, which we carry, but not in the morning, in the afternoon. Let's say for the people in Los Angeles, they wake up and everything like that. So
Yep.
I'm gonna go to Alex here. Alex, you in Tiger Stadium? You build up Tiger Stadium again for this occasion?
That's right. That's right. I went on down to Brush Street and I said, let's get to work, boys. And we rebuilt Tiger Stadium. I loaded the ballpark with fans just for this show. That's it.
Yeah, well, it's great because Detroit did nothing at the trade deadline, and they need fans to witness Brian, me, and you on the air here. All right, so I'm going to introduce everybody. Everybody knows Alex a little bit, from Detroit and now in the Boston and New England area. So we'll get to the Red Sox. But Brian, not many people on the Fired Up Network know about you. So tell everybody who's your favorite team, where you're from, and stuff like that.
Originally from Chicago. I'm a South Sider born and bred, and we've had many battles with the Tigers. And my first favorite Tigers pitcher was a Hall of Famer by the name of Jack Morris.
Yes, former
I
Blue
hated when he pitched against us because he always had something in his arsenal that would kill us. But I love Jack Morris. Love the White Sox. I was so happy in 2005 when they won it all, and it was a chance for me to celebrate that with my dad before he passed away 2 years later due to prostate cancer. So that's one of the teams I follow. I also follow my original favorite team was the St. Louis Cardinals, and then love the White Sox because I'm a South Sider. Let's see, Buster Posey made me a fan of the Giants, so I follow them. And there's a little fellow that there's a fellow I love by the name of Yordan Alvarez.
Yes.
So I pay attention to the Houston Astros. I pay attention to the Astros for a while. So those are my teams. Those are the teams that I follow, and those are the teams that I carry a torch for.
By the way, for people who are watching now on the Fired Up Network and on Brian's platforms, Brian did a tremendous job yesterday but he'll never do it again because the Blue Jays lost, of doing play-by-play between the Blue Jays and Baltimore Orioles. Next time, Brian, part of the deal with the Fired Up Network, I'm paying you almost Tom Brady money, all right? Part of the deal when you come out, do play-by-play, is bringing Blue Jays some victory. And it's because of you. Bo Bichette was bending down, checking out Fired Up Network, and he injured his knee. Now, thank God, they're saying he's day to day.
Well, Bo Bichette was flying around first base, okay? I just called it the way I saw it.
No, he looked down and said, Fired Up Network and Snowman Media, they're coming together. And Alex Campbell, he's all fired up. And, oh, my knee. Okay, whatever. Right. All right, so let's get to Alex here. What was the biggest trade that we know of so far in your eyes in the trade deadline?
Oh, it was, without question, the Verlander deal that happened, less than an hour ago. Without question. How remarkable, and just take the time to admire the beauty of Verlander's career and what it is. He's 40 years old, and you just had a team say, we miss you and we need you back if we're going to get serious about this. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what happened. And I really like the move for both teams. I like it for the Mets too. I think the Mets faced a realization that you've got two older aces you're depending on, and you really can't depend on two older aces.
Right.
And by the way, especially not next year. In the future, there's no future consideration there. So I love that they got, they really got the best two prospects in the Astros system in return. I love the return they got. I think both teams made out very well. And I really like the Astros to at least represent the AL this year.
So before I get to Brian in a second, now I'm going to ask Brian to start this off here. Which is the biggest collapse you had in Brooklyn? You had James Harden, Kyrie, and KD, or you had two of the best pitchers in the last 25 years for like 6 months. You traded everything. Cohen, by the way, Cohen, we're Jewish. I'm Jewish also. Share some shekels here, and then don't worry about them. Throw them away to me. And it costs you less money because I'm Canadian, eh? All right, go ahead, Brian.
Look, the New York baseball team's collapse has been the most surprising to me. and you had two of the best pitchers. You had a World Series MVP. You had two World Series pitchers, and in 6 months they're both gone. They're on the opposite sides of Texas. One will advance to the World Series. The other's the Texas Rangers. I'm just throwing that out there right now. But what are you going to do in New York? Cohen paid all this money for a 100-win team that wasn't going to repeat anything, and now you've sold off both your pitchers. DeGrom's gone. Syndergaard's gone. You got to build your pitching staff. And you got to start from scratch.
Well, and they're starting from scratch when they get rid of these guys. And to that point, Alex made a point. So I'll go to Brian here. Do you agree with Alex about the major trade Verlander?
Yes. Houston wants to bury not just the Texas Rangers, but the rest of the American League right now. Their run is nowhere near over. If you think about it, they got this far. They're within a half game of the division lead, minus Verlander. Yeah. Now you can work Verlander into the rotation. You can take a week, work him into the rotation, and then you just get Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez back in your lineup. You add Jose Abreu, former White Sox slugger and former MVP, and you got the best lineup not only in the division, you got the best lineup in the American League.
So right now, the trade deadline is finished. I'll go to you, Brian. Give me your World Series matchup as you sit here, because you're going to come if you're good. If Alex accepts you on to recap and come here for Major League Baseball previews, playoff previews, and all that, and talk about reminiscing about the Detroit Tigers, Cecil Fielder and Alan Trammell and all that, and how they took out Ernie Witt and Tony Fernandez, and Blue Jays went 0-7 the last week. Let's not talk. Never mind. All right.
Wait a minute. Now you got to include Lou Whitaker on that.
Okay, yes. Sparky Anderson. Come on.
Yep, Sparky Anderson, and of course the great first baseman who faked out everyone in Darrell Evans.
Yeah, but okay. What about Cecil Fielder?
I love Cecil Fielder. Cecil Fielder's a DH, but Darrell Evans was the best first baseman I saw play for the Tigers, save maybe Prince Fielder.
Yep.
But to answer your question, who do I see in the World Series right now? My American League champions, the Houston Astros. My National League champion, and people are going to be surprised, I still say will be the San Francisco Giants.
Wow. San Francisco Giants?
I have the Giants.
Hold on. Did you ever go back on the bay there and catch and the ball hit you in the head or something like that?
No.
San Francisco Bay or whatever?
No.
I know. Wait a minute. I know your NFL team is the 49ers, and you're talking to Lynch about getting Bosa millions and millions of dollars, yo.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but how's that working out for you? Never mind. We'll talk about that in the NFL, all right? You're picking the San Francisco Giants?
I'm leaning on the Giants because the Dodgers are going to fall. All right? The West Division has come down to a battle of California with the Dodgers and the Giants, and they got to see each other a few more times. With Clayton Kershaw out, I don't see that pitching staff recovering. I don't see that team recovering. And my question is for the Dodgers, who's your closer?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. And let's face it, and you may be right, but that division, you talk about the American League East, but the National League West is full. I think 4 or 5 teams are over 500.
Mm-hmm.
Right? San Diego makes. I don't even know why San Diego makes some trades there. They think they're going to catch.
It's the San Diego Padres, for God's sakes. Does that answer your question?
Well, no, I'd like to live in San Diego. That's all. All right, San Diego. I love to live in San Diego. Have you ever been to San Diego? Come on, San Diego.
Never been to San Diego. Heard about San Diego.
Well, I heard about San Diego too, but it's about time Alex pays me a trip to go to San Diego. Alex,
How do I owe the trip?
You're
part of the Fired Up Network. You get paid millions. I don't see the Snowman Media paying you millions. Come on.
I make millions. When did I make millions? I got to consult my.
Listen,
you built Tiger Stadium, for God's sakes. Does that answer your question?
Named Bill Belichick, man. You got to talk to him. All right, Alex.
It's old Bill, huh? You're right.
Yep.
he's wearing the toupee from you. All right, who's your World Series pick right now?
Man, that's tough. I like the Dodgers. I like the Dodgers to make the World Series.
Why? They don't have any pitching.
They struggle on the pitching staff, but they're built in a very old school way, kind of like the Yankees are. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
but see, the Yankees have something the Dodgers don't have much of: money.
Well, that's true. Well, that's not that the Dodgers don't have much of. I mean, you can't say. Look, they're not the least spending team, and there's no trade. I mean, there's no cap here. I mean, we're not. People just. And by the way, have you been watching modern sports? You can write a check, and you can do just about anything, cap or
except
not.
if you're the Brooklyn Mess or Brooklyn Nets.
Well, we'll talk about the NBA later.
Same thing. Same thing.
But, okay, so you're picking the Dodgers and who?
And man.
All right, when you come on,
the Dodgers. I'll say the Braves. I like the
Wait
Braves.
a minute,
I'll
you
say
can't
the Braves.
the Braves. They're in the same National League.
Sorry, my
San
bad.
Francisco got hit by 2 balls on the ocean.
I got hit by 2 balls. I like the Orioles. The Orioles are who I like in the AL. Yeah. I always, for some reason, I look at Atlanta.
You've got to be kidding me.
No way.
You don't like the Orioles? What's wrong with you? The Orioles are the second best team in baseball right now.
They won't get past Houston. Now, I got Houston and Baltimore in my American League Championship Series, and that's going to be a 7-game war. I'll give you that. I trust the Orioles. I don't trust the Dodgers. I just don't.
Orioles. You know what? Orioles are having a great year. Okay, let's face it. But like every team who is on the come up, it takes them a year or two to lose to win. You have to lose to win. Alex, remember that.
And explain the Chicago Cubs since 2016.
Sometimes you have to lose a lot to win. You talk to the Cubs, talk to the Red Sox.
Never mind. Let's and the Blue Jays look at in the playoffs. They blow a lead. Never mind. All right. So you got to lose to win. Baltimore is going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they're in the ALCS, let alone the World Series.
Okay? Who's your pick?
I'm not picking the Blue Jays. I'm not, even though I'm the president of the province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, soon to run for the mayor of Toronto. But look, okay, I'm not. He's laughing. Why you don't take you?
If you become an honest request, if you become the mayor of Toronto, will you change the name of the Rogers Center back to the Sky Dome, please?
Listen, you have my word that it's going to be called the Sky Dome, and then Maple Leaf Air Canada Center, Scotiabank Arena should always be called Maple Leaf Gardens. Maple Leaf Gardens, right?
Maple Leaf Gardens.
See, and because you were agreeing with me, I may make you an honorary Canadian for 12 minutes because that equals like 6 hours in American time. All right, so put it that way. Okay, so
do I get 12 minutes do I get 12 minutes at Maple Leafs Gardens to call like part of the first period of a hockey game there?
All right, so go the Maple Leaf goal scored by number 21, Borja. Come on, give me you do play-by-play. Give me your best. You're talking about going to Chicago and doing stuff for your wife and all that. Millions and millions of people are watching this right now. That's all Alex family, by the way. All right, millions and millions of people are watching right now. They want to hear your play-by-play call of, let's say, the Toronto Maple Leafs and pick the Detroit Red Wings or Chicago Blackhawks. You like Chicago, he likes Detroit. Come on.
Pick the Red Wings.
The pressure's on you.
The pressure's on me, and I think I'll have to pass because I haven't done a hockey game in like 12 years.
And hockey is incredibly hard. I think hockey of all the sports would be the hardest play.
I've talked to so many hockey announcers in Chicago and in the surrounding area, and they said you have to keep your head on a swivel to call a hockey game. And the first one I did was a high school game in Chicago, and he was right. For a 15-minute period, because they play 15 minutes, you had to keep your head on a swivel. And then about halfway through the first period, I remember the easiest lesson I was taught, which was to follow the puck. and I followed the puck, and I tried like keeping up with the names. That was hard to do. Here's how I was armed in the booth when I did a hockey game. I had one roster in this hand. I had another roster in this hand. I had my glasses, and then I had the rink in front of me. That's about how I got through that initial hockey broadcast.
Yeah.
Look, and you had the pronunciation guide of Zelapukin.
Yes.
Zelapukin from New Jersey.
Zelapukin.
And hockey's the easiest to call. The Maple Leafs,
it's not.
75th year, do not win the Stanley Cup. That's all you have to know. That's all you have to know. Welcome to the Stanley Cup final. We're at Maple Leaf Gardens here. The Maple Leafs are not in the Stanley Cup final. It doesn't matter if you're in Toronto. This is the president of the province of Canada. I don't know when they're going to win. If I had a chance, never mind. All right, this is baseball. I digress. All right, so we talked about your picks and all that, but give me a surprise trade that you think is going to do it for the team that traded for it. Alex, I'll start off with you this time.
A surprise trade?
You always get, like, we talk about hockey, and you always get like a third line grinder that leads them to the Stanley Cup, or a pitcher that out of nowhere in the playoffs he has an ERA of 0.68.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I already kind of mentioned it. I was really surprised that the Mets, because like everybody knew that they were going to get rid of Verlander.
Yeah,
everybody knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was shocked. I really was at the poll they were able to get, and I think those are two very meaningful prospects. Because it was that situation where you've got a 40-year-old and you exchanged him for, again, the two top prospects in a system.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty rare. Now you can frame it under the guys, though, that you've got. It's also a rock solid starter who's on fire and will be dependable likely through the rest of the season and well into the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But it's not what I'm saying is it's not the typical 40-year-old for two prospects. But at the same time, that's a hell of a value. And I was shocked they were able to get that, knowing, again, that he was on sale, because they gave that clear indication with Scherzer 2 days earlier.
Yeah, they did. But
he's not your typical 40-year-old.
But again, these are the Mets. And the Mets mess up prospects real quick.
I don't think a team did enough to get them over any humps in the entire trade deadline. So,
but when you look at baseball, especially,
no, go ahead.
When you look at baseball, especially, look at the teams every year at trade deadline who pick up talent. Pittsburgh gives away their talent. Kansas City gives away their talent. The Mets you could typically say these are the teams that they're going to do something, and that's it.
Yeah.
And for Brian, since you're here in a Canadian network, in Toronto network, and I mentioned I'm the president of provinces in Canada, so we do have to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays, the team that you made lose last night when you did play-by-play of the.
I'm sorry if they couldn't hit Kyle Gibson worth a darn last night.
And you're telling me they want to win the World Series? And pitching Kyle Gibson is like pitching Alex Campbell.
They couldn't get a hit against Kyle Gibson last night for almost 6 innings.
And let me tell you this: I want your thoughts here. I'll start off with Alex. Okay, today the pitching matchup for the Blue Jays Orioles game. I just want to talk about the Blue Jays. Hinton Ryu. This is a critical series for the Blue Jays. Critical. You haven't pitched like all year. You're coming off Tommy John surgery. You're doing this. Put you in there and all that, and hopefully you give me more than 6 innings, because Alek Manoah's throwing people, hitting somebody in the face. He goes 3 innings. He goes 6 innings, and he's partying it up. All right, Hinton Ryu. What do you expect for him tonight?
I mean, look, he's he's a high velocity guy, but he's, like you said, he's fresh off an injury. So I'm anxious. What do you expect off of any guy fresh off an injury, other than not much, right? Exactly. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to solve any of the woes for the Blue Jays pitching staff.
Hinton Ryu. I mean, they expect Hinton Ryu to be Jimmy Key.
Yeah.
All right. They expect Hinton. Yeah, I'm going back in the day, Joe. They're expecting Hinton Ryu, fresh off of Tommy John surgery, to become Jimmy Key. and I haven't seen Hyun-Jin Ryu drop sidearm since before his injury. And you know that was Jimmy Key's specialty. Jimmy Key would drop sidearm in a minute and drop that changeup over the plate. And Jimmy Key was a pitcher I hated but loved because he used to kill us, man. He used to kill my White Sox. But in answer to that, Ryu needs. I know this is asking a lot, Blue Jay fans. I am a honorary Blue Jay, according to a lot of people. Ryu needs to go the distance. You got to take some pressure off of that bull, and I say it for this. I say it for this reason.
Distance in 17 years.
I know that, but I say it for this reason and these two reasons. One, Toronto has to pick up a game on Baltimore, and they have to stay competitive in the wild card. And two, after what happened last night, you got to take some pressure off that bullpen, knowing you got a full week coming up.
And knowing, I don't know if you know this, but tomorrow another lefty's pitching for the Blue Jays, and he's almost as good as Ryu. All right, Kikuchi.
Yep.
And
that's why Ryu needs to go the distance tonight. That's why Ryu needs to go at least 7. You got to get at least 7. There, I'll back it up. If Ryu gives you 7, and the offense wakes up, and not in the later innings like last night, then the Blue Jays have a chance tonight. But they got to get this one.
Listen, I'll make you a bet right now. All right, this is Brian Snowman in the morning, carried in the afternoon on the Fired Up Network. All right, I'll make you a bet. If Ryu goes 7, I'll buy you a cat named Rocky.
Because I have to decline
another cat named Tyson. All right, so like I'm telling you.
I'll have to decline that because I got one of my kittens, Pumpkin, looking at me right now, and he heard that bet and is shaking his head violently. So, no.
Okay, so Alex, don't text me to bet him a kitten, all right? So don't text
I have no
me
kittens
that,
to
all
bet.
right? All right. So, Alex, let's go to you here. Do you agree with Brian here, especially with Kikuchi coming off tomorrow also?
Yeah, I mean, I look. There's the test is right here. I mean, we're gonna figure it out because look, they've got this series to finish off against the Orioles. Then they go immediately up against the Red Sox. They're right there with the Sox in the wild card race. A lot is going to be decided, and that's the swing of these next few games as these guys come back. So I mean, really, it's all a wait and see. I mean, unfortunately, I'll give the same answer to both because we don't really know.
It's a big 4-game series.
Yeah.
It's a big 4-game series, and plus they're coming off finishing a weekend series, so fatigue is going to come into play. You're coming off a weekend series. You usually get a Monday off, but now you're heading right into – you're going head-to-head with the best in the East and the Baltimore Orioles.
And that's more to your previous point that, like, not just Ryu, but every starter they have, whether they're fresh back, whether they played a long stretch, is going to need to go 6-7 innings as much as possible in this stretch.
Well, Chris Bassett went 6 last night, but he threw 113 pitches.
Way too many. Yeah.
And that first inning killed him.
Yeah.
That first inning where he threw 39 pitches killed him. All right? You can't have your starting pitcher starting a crucial series. Set the tape, and what set the table, and I said it at the tail end of my broadcast last night, that 2-out walk in the first inning opened the floodgates.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because if you retire them in order, then you stay scoreless at least for 2 innings, all right? And instead of it being 3-0 after that home run from Gunnar Henderson, it's only 1-0. And then you tie it up with a run in the 6th inning, and then eventually you get the lead. So that walk, that 2-out walk in the first inning, which eventually led to a 2-run double, opened the doors.
So Alex, on that matter, Baltimore. Baltimore, years ago, they lost 108, 110, and all that. Last year, they had a good year. But are you still surprised where they're at now when we're a month left or 6 weeks left in the season?
Absolutely. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. I would say that really, when you look at the top 5, teams, probably the Rangers, Astros, Rays, Orioles, Braves. Like the most shocking of that mix has to be the Orioles, in my opinion.
Not for me. For the simplest of reason, they've been building this.
Yeah.
Many years they've been getting kicked in the rear end and losing 100 some odd games every year. What have they been doing? Stacking up their farm system. Now look at their lineup. They're
Yeah,
loaded
great.
with guys that have put in the work. Since 2014, the Orioles have not done a doggone thing. Now they're getting ready to turn the American League upside down, if they haven't already. The East is done. All right? The American League East Division is finito. Finished.
That means finish. Finito means finish. By the way,
Yep.
Alex, if
I
you didn't
got
know.
It's finito. Done. It's done in the sun.
Done. Yasta and Yasta. I'm Spanish also. All right.
That
So
too.
like, look here
It's
we go.
it's done.
Here we go. I'm gonna and we're gonna. I didn't talk to these guys, but these guys are so good. I'm gonna switch topics right now. Here on Thursday, it's the start of the NFL preseason. Yes, the
Yep.
start of the NFL preseason. The Jets. The start of the NFL preseason. The Jets going up against who? Alex, come on. You're killing me, Alex. Come on. I put you over and you're killing
the
me.
Jets going up against the Browns.
Yes, the Jets and Browns. Now,
I'll be asleep.
Yeah.
no, you're going to be doing play-by-play of that. All right.
I'm going to be
The
snoring
Jets,
out loud.
Well,
the,
what's the difference? I'm talking to your wife. What's the difference that you do any day? Come on. All right. So, so, so like, let me ask you this, okay? The
yeah.
Jets have a new quarterback who's not probably going to play maybe he'll have the opening snap. All right, he'll have the opening snap. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Alex, I'm going to go with you first. What do you expect from the Jets and their quarterback this year? Of course, in the Buffalo Bills division, the AFC East, the new Super Bowl champions of 2024, 25, 26. They lost four in a row. Look at him shaking his head. Listen, you don't shake your head at the president of the provinces of Canada. And
I'm
you know
not
what?
shaking my head at you per se. I'm shaking your head at what you're trying to pull and the stuff you're putting together. That's what I'm shaking my head at.
Listen, have you talked to Stefan Diggs? Man, come on, just stop talking to Stefan Diggs. Let him go in his place and catch 4 balls for 4 touchdowns, and that's it. That's all I need. And Dawson Knox. And anyways, go ahead with Aaron Rodgers, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers. Look, he's a transcendent talent at quarterback. He's been a bit prickly in locker rooms, and honestly, he's been a tough guy to work with. He's developed kind of a diva, persona in a way in the NFL. It's, to me, Rodgers in a
That's
lot
an
of cases is more
understatement.
about being right than actually playing well or having an attitude about about things than playing well. Sometimes it's really been mesmerizing to watch as he's gotten older. He's almost gotten worse. It normally works the other way around. But anyway. I expect him to be his regular old moody self after they struggle out of the gate a little bit, trying to figure out a new offense. Hackett is not the cure. Hackett is not the cure-all.
Thank
Talking
you.
about his coach like that, all right? Come
Yeah,
on. What are you, Sean Payton?
the cure-all is drafting a rookie quarterback that's challenging him for his job. That's the cure-all. If you want to engage him to have an MVP caliber season, then you've got to threaten his position. And to me, I always look at athletes in a different way a little bit. Like, are they, I love the skill set and everything. Are they a good employee at the end of the day? Because they are an employee of a franchise. I don't love Rodgers as an employee that you've got to incentivize him by threatening his job. I don't love that. And I don't think he's set to perform super well this year. He's not going to be in the MVP conversation. I don't think the Jets make the playoffs. I would imagine they win about 10 games. I think they're a good team. They've got a lot of young, solid pieces. Rodgers makes them better, but he's in the twilight of his career. He's no longer mobile, and the offensive line sucks. So that's my take on the Jets.
So
And
he says they're going 10-7, but not making the playoffs.
well, the AFC 10-7 doesn't make the playoffs this year.
Wait a minute. I have to ask you this because I'm going to go to Brian after. Since I'm the president of province of Canada, the president, and because I spoke to Pagula of the Buffalo Bills in Canada, all right, do the Buffalo Bills win the AFC East? Forget about Super Bowl. We'll take it step by step. Step by step. Come on.
I'll give you a qualifying answer. If Tua gets any sort of concussion type injury, the Bills will win the East. Yes.
All
If
right.
that happens.
So in other words, he just said the Buffalo Bills Tua get a concussion. That's like you changing your underwear. Come on. All right. So look, Buffalo, you're saying Buffalo is going to win the AFC East. Brian, do you agree?
Yes.
All right.
And then when it goes away,
That's all I need to know. Go ahead.
the Buffalo Bills will win this division going away. I don't trust the Jets. I sure as hell don't trust the Patriots. And then you got the problem with Miami and Tua Tagovailoa, who should have walked the hell away when he had the opportunity. It's like Alex said, if Tua gets any kind of concussion, the Dolphins are done for. I think the Dolphins are done for because they got a couple of former 49ers that are now broken down running backs. Of course, Raheem Mostert. You remember what he did against the Packers. Listen, this is how I can describe the AFC East division. You have the Buffalo Bills, who are the class of that division, and the rest of the teams are doing this. The rest of the teams are doing this.
I even bring sound effects. Look at this. Can you give me the Buffalo Bills theme song there? Do you have that or what?
I don't have it yet.
Come on.
I don't have it yet, but I will. Yeah. I'll have it. Then when you have me back on, I will have the theme song.
All right. So tomorrow he's going to be playing the theme song. All right. Go ahead.
Yes.
All right. So you about the Buffalo Bills.
About the Jets.
Yeah.
Here's what I have. Here's what I have for the Jets. The Jets are going to receive 11 of these. Tiger uppercut, especially from everyone in the division. I'm surprised if the Jets win 2 games in the division, it would be against the New England Patriots. The rest of the games in that division. Tiger uppercut, sonic boom. That's what's going to happen to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, this guy plays a lot with the boom stuff there. All right, so let's go by division, okay? I'll start off with Brian here. He picks the Buffalo. I shouldn't even go. Buffalo Bills, how far do you say they go this year? Forget about all the
divisional playoff.
They just go to the playoffs?
And they get punked by Cincinnati again.
All right. This will be his last time on the show here, Alex.
The snowman is no more. He melted. That's it.
Hey, this snow don't melt. I follow football way too long.
All right. So here, I asked you about your World Series. Let me go with the Super Bowl. Brian Snowman, we're carrying Snowman in the morning, here in the afternoon on the Fired Up Network. You can check it out on so many platforms. All right. Who is your Super Bowl pick? Because I got something for you. You don't even know this. Who's your Super Bowl pick?
49ers and Chiefs.
And
one more time.
49ers and Chiefs. I saw that before, but you know what? I'm going to squirm you and everything. Nickelodeon does not pick that game.
Good. Then maybe we'll watch real football for once instead of a slime fest.
Yeah.
You want to watch real football? The Buffalo Bills will go in the Super Bowl and make it a close game because, hell, they want to give me another heart attack, all right? They want no nails here.
They want Scott North. They want to repeat a Scott North.
You can't mention that name.
No. You know what? God love him. We haven't seen him since 1992, all right?
And a lot of Buffalo Bills fans are saying, because they haven't seen Scott Norwood.
No, but you actually, I'll tell you where you go to Cheektowaga and all this. When there's a fire, Scott Norwood is there. He's actually trying out to be a fireman. All right.
Oh, wow.
He takes his hose and goes wide right. All right. So that's it. That's the truth. All right. Who is your Super Bowl pick? You said Buffalo's going to lose to the Cincinnati Bengals. Untrue. Not true. Not true. Who's your Super Bowl pick?
I told you. Niners and Chiefs.
Oh, yes. Niners and Chiefs.
It'd be Brock Purdy against Patrick Mahomes.
You're wrong because everything with San Francisco is never going to happen. All right.
You're despicable.
I agree with everything in San Francisco is never going to happen. I don't think the Eagles get back. But, like, at the same time, I don't know who else in the NFC even has a chance at this. I really don't. Like,
you know something, Alex? I have 2 words for you. You tripping.
I thought he was going to say DX move. Come on.
No. I can never say that.
Who challenges the 49ers in the NFC?
No one. Well, actually, the only team that can challenge San Francisco in the NFC is Philadelphia.
Right.
And the only question for the NFC Championship will it be at Lincoln Financial Field in South Philly, or will it be at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara? Either way, I plan to be there.
And here's because FiredUp Network's paying big time.
I like the Niners.
All right, so here's the whole thing. If whichever team hosts that game, let's face it, it's Eagles 49ers. Whichever team
Yep.
hosts that game is probably going to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because we don't know. Okay, if everyone stays healthy and the rosters are what we know they are now, sure, absolutely. We don't know all that though, so
Right.
I think both. I do think both teams are so loaded that it's all but a guarantee that they're going to meet in the NFC title game, though.
And you know what's crazy? We never would have known how competitive this past NFC Championship game was because the Niners weren't healthy at quarterback after Purdy went down.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how he comes back. I don't think Darnold is going to be a long-term or even really a great short-term answer for them. I see
he is, and I'll tell you why.
I see how his skill set fits, but
there are two things that Sam Darnold has now in Frisco that he never had with the Jets and he never had with Carolina: a reliable running game and some weapons to throw to.
Yeah. Well, and he also has a coach that's not going to screw the pooch. I mean,
exactly.
There's that as well. No, so I agree that he's a good fit there, in a better fit than he's ever had before. But I don't agree with the long-term success. I mean, there's only been one case of Tannehill, a guy that bounced back late in their career like that, and to really it was a mini bump. It wasn't a full bounce, and I certainly don't expect Darnold to be the bounce.
No.
At this point. So
no, but
I think their
situation than he ever has been in.
No, I agree. But I think their success in a long, large part depends on Brock Purdy's health and his progression. Is because Purdy, look, we haven't seen anything quite like Purdy, and dare I say it, since Tom Brady. I mean, and I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady.
He ain't saying something like Purdy since Steve Young.
Well, I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady as he's in the way that he is going to beat
Tom Brady. And remember, Brock Purdy in his first start kicked Tom Brady's tail.
Right. But it's a different era. They passed.
Way different era.
This guy's he's worse than me. Everything with San Francisco he likes. Come on.
You could say a lot of things. His touchdown to interception.
I've been a 49er since 1981. When Montana hit Dwight Clark in the back of the end zone, and everybody in San Francisco said, "Yahoo!" And we beat the Cowboys.
So
finally,
you say San Fran and Philadelphia. Now in the AFC, by the way, everybody knows AFC Buffalo's going to go, and if Buffalo goes, it's going to be Philadelphia because every time they play in the Super Bowl, it's an NFC East team. Washington, Dallas, Giants, it's an NFC East team. And now, if it's not an NFC East team, the Buffalo Bills will bring back the Lombardi to Canada, to the president of the provinces of Canada, and I'll give them maple syrup. All right? So who do you see in the AFC?
Not the Bills.
All right. He's not back next week also. All right?
I like the Chiefs. Look, Mahomes is the best player in the NFL.
The Chiefs. You know what? I hate the slogan of the Chiefs and all that. And by the way, on the Fired Up Network, we're going to have a special show dedicated to the Chiefs during the NFL season. But I digress here. You're saying Pat Mahomes, and you're saying Kelsey, and you're saying everything.
Yeah.
Why the Chiefs again?
Because of Patrick Mahomes.
Because of Patrick Mahomes. Look, he's a combination of everything. Every great quarterback we've seen over, I would say, the last 15 years. I mean, he's pretty much got the entire skill set. He can make every throw. He can beat a defense with his mind. He's shown the ability to work through pain.
And he's getting better.
And he keeps getting better. I mean, he's so creative with the football, and you know what I mean? It's just crazy to watch him. And especially with Kelsey, who isn't a super athlete yet finds a way to get open on 75% of his routes.
He doesn't need to be super athlete. Wide open. Listen, Kansas City and the 49ers have the two best tight ends in the business right now. Sure. Travis Kelce and George the Animal Kittle. All right? You can't get much better than that.
No. He just says George the Animal Kittle because he saw him with his shirt off and he's like a monkey there with all this hair on his back and everything.
If you remember a play that Kittle made against New Orleans a few years ago where he dragged three defenders with him.
Oh, he's an animal. He really is.
Thank you. That's why I gave him the nickname. He's an animal.
Kittle's so good that if the Niners, if they got thin on the offensive line and they needed a guy, he could actually probably play a guard position.
Easy.
That's how strong he is.
That's how strong Kittle is.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask
and he can catch the ball.
So I'm going to ask Snowman here. I asked him if whoever has home advantage or whatever. Last year they played in Philly, and like you said, everybody was injured and all that, the quarterback and all that.
Yep.
Are obviously you'll be more confident if they played at home, right? But going into
I'll,
Philly in
I'll be
February,
confident either way. Well, we got to see Philly in Week 13. That could be that's going to be a prelude to the NFC Championship. If we got to go to Philadelphia and beat them in Philadelphia, we'll just beat them in Philadelphia. But this time we'll do it with a healthy squad. We'll do it with a healthy quarterback. Because after Purdy went down, we couldn't do a doggone thing and move the ball down the field against that savage Philadelphia defense. You're talking about the two teams, the two teams that have the two best teams, the two best rosters in the NFL. They're both in the NFC, Philadelphia and San Francisco. They are loaded. And then on top of that, San Francisco snatches Javon Hargrave from, you guessed it, Philadelphia in free agency.
All right, we got we got a couple more minutes, so I'm going to switch from football. We're going to touch all major sports here, all right? Because it was requested by the Snowman that we have to talk about the NBA. He wants to. Alex? He's texting me now. Like, we're doing a show, and he's texting me. He wants your memories of LeBron James wearing number 6 for the Lakers because now he's number 23, and next week he's number.
I requested no such thing.
Yes, I know. Listen, I watch your show. I know you.
And you know what I do every Wednesday, doggone it.
Go ahead, Alex. What are your memories of LeBron James wearing number 6?
He's switching back to 23, right? He's switching away from 6. What my memories of him wearing 6? I have none. I honestly, it's
thank you.
It's
thank you. Listen, there's a sound that my partner did that I happened to duplicate, and every broad sexual I know that we highlight every Wednesday says.
I swear to God, we never talked about this, but that was my hope of him doing that.
Then allow me to ice your cake again.
All right. So here, let me go back to Alex here. Okay, we asked about the World Series and Super Bowl. I'm gonna ask you right now. I know it's really early here. First of all, is there going to be any player committing a crime during the season?
Any? Yes. Any? Okay. If you give me the entire NBA.
Look, Brian's throwing out his no now. Look, okay? So that's number one. Number two, because Brian, you got to listen to this. Are we going to have an NBA champion the same as the in-season champion? They're going to be two different teams.
Different.
All right. What's this? Is one team...
Who gives a damn about the NBA Cup anyway? I thought the whole idea was to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy in June.
Tell me about it, man.
Listen, here.
I don't know why. Can either of you guys answer me this?
Because it's money.
I've got it. Look. Money's the only reason, and I'm not going to pay attention to the in-season tournament. You know what? This is. All right, I hate to play this sound, but I'll play it aloud anyway. This is Adam Silver's response to people who don't want the NBA, the in-season tournament.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch!
That's his response. It's money, and it's nothing but money, and I got no reason whatsoever to watch that tournament. None.
I think the hard part, and that's the hard part, is that it's ad money, and these ad dollars are coming because of some kind of promise they've made of ratings that aren't going to come true. And my question about all this is about all of it is I'll throw Major League Baseball into this.
Thank you.
What is going on where they, first of all, these contracts are locked in. So if they can just, it's it'd be like if the Fired Up Network just got paid more and more the more content it put out. You know what I mean? And so that's great for right now.
Exactly. You just said the best words for right now.
Right. Unfortunately, no one's watching. So that's
no one gives two fifths of a damn. I've said that since 2016.
Well, David Stern said it when he was a commissioner. And so much so that your best players now aren't taking the regular season seriously. at all. And so, what are we doing with the All-Star game? It doesn't make any sense with the Cup.
Listen,
why do any of these major leagues care about the All-Star game?
Listen, let me say
They're not good for the long-term sustainability.
Let me say this about the All-Star game, and I've said it on my show several 100,000 times. There hasn't been a good All-Star weekend since 1988 in my hometown of Chicago.
Thank you. And to be honest, and the dunk contest stopped being fun at Vince Carter. Nothing has happened since then that I really care about.
Vince Carter, the dunk contest stopped being fun since '88.
Well, I disagree.
I think won the slam dunk contest.
Vince did things that still have not been done to this day. So
I taught him everything.
Because Vince had to revive the slam dunk contest, for God's sakes. Michael Jordan put it to sleep after winning it in '88 in front of 18,168 in the stadium. And since then, who the hell has made the slam dunk contest fun?
I already answered that question. One person.
Vince Carter.
Yeah, that was the most fun. That was the most fun.
That was an individual performance. I'm talking about a competition.
Great. Everybody remembers 2 dunks that Jordan pulled off in that dunk contest. Nobody remembers second place. It was
Says you. Says you. I was there.
Good for
you. I was in Chicago Stadium. I remember every doggone dunk in Chicago Stadium. Don't you try that with me.
Every dunk.
Well, not everyone. Not everyone.
All right.
No. The dunk contest, by the way, is entertainment. I don't believe in the actual
look. And I hate to bring this up, but Brian, you could say this. Wrestling is not wrestling. It is what?
Sports entertainment.
Everything is sports entertainment. By the way, Detroit this weekend, SummerSlam, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso.
At Ford Field.
Yes, at Ford Field. You're not going. I wanted Alex.
There are going to be 70,000 people at Ford Field for what?
Brian, he did not want to acknowledge Roman Reigns, man. Acknowledge Roman Reigns.
I'll acknowledge this.
Paul Heyman here.
I'll acknowledge this. 70,000 people are going to be at Soldier Field for what?
Go ahead.
For what?
Sports entertainment.
That
was the USFL. Next question.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead. I think he has too many Slurpees with him. The snow is melting. All right. So let's speak about snow. We're going to since I'm the president of the province of Canada. I don't know if Brian heard that 17 times already. We're going to close it out. I know we started with the MLB trade deadline. Not huge trades. Blue Jays did nothing. I know Brian's team, the Cubs, did nothing. Whatever. All right. He's calling the Giants to make the World Series. What's wrong with this? All right. So, look. Here are the White Sox now.
Don't you ever mention Cubs to me again.
All right. White Sox. What? Show everybody your socks color. Show everybody your... If it's not white, don't talk about it. Show everybody your socks color. Probably
you're looking at it.
Looking at it.
You're looking at it.
Yeah, he's wearing a hat of the Chicago White Sox, but he has black socks on. All right.
You're Don Tootin'. Yeah. That's how I roll.
All right. So let's talk about the National Hockey League. All right. Let's talk about Chicago. All right. Let's talk about Chicago rebuilding, but they got the number 1 pick this year, Connor Bedard. Brian,
yep.
What do you expect from Connor Bedard? Do you expect him to
Rookie of the Year? I'm saying it now. Rookie of the Year.
How many points is he going to have?
100.
No.
Okay, 110. So what?
No, he's not going to have 100 or 110.
Why not?
Play with?
Why the hell not? Why the hell not?
Who's he going to play with?
Well, they're going to bring some people there. I still say he gets 100 points.
I don't think he's going to get. I think he wins Rookie of the Year, but he won't get 100 points. Maybe 99, but not 100.
Maybe 99. You smart Alec. Maybe not. So what'll happen? He'll come up short in the final game and not score a point.
No, he'll
Either
miss
goal or
the
assist in the final in the 82nd game.
he missed the empty net. No, but Bedard, and you know what? Pittsburgh wanted to get new ownership. They got Sidney Crosby, and look what happened. All right, now
Yeah.
Chicago needed a star since Taves and Kane. Well, Taves probably gone, Kane already gone. We don't know where he's
Yeah.
going or whatever. And Chicago gets the number one pick. Maple Leafs. Okay, a couple of years ago, they got a number one pick, Austin Matthews, right? And Austin Matthews. He said Toronto. He thought it was Arizona. He goes, oh, now I got to wear a jacket or whatever. Come on. All right. So, Alex, here, you're Detroit.
Red
You're,
Wings.
you're in Boston and all that. The Red Wings. What in the blue hell, or the red hell, the Red Wings, okay? What in the blue hell is Stevie Eisenman doing? He gives away this. He gives away $6 million to a guy you don't even know. But
yeah,
what are they doing?
It's been a busy offseason of pretty much nothing.
What in the blue hell?
No, I completely agree. It's been like, it seems like it's more of a priority just to be busy than anything else, because they've just basically done lateral exchanges for players and given away money to people that don't deserve it, and really done nothing. I guess the roster got a little deeper, and like, if I had to say any positive, I think it benefits Dylan Larkin a little bit. Speaking of a first round pick that is a huge star in Detroit, and I do think maybe they're a couple games better next year, but who really cares? I mean, they finished 7th. Like, that's not going to be good enough. So and it certainly doesn't meet the standard of Red Wings hockey. It just doesn't. I don't think they've done much, although they've done a lot.
Yeah. I mean, and Joe, you got to say it right. In the immortal words of my good friend Chris Bass,
What in the all types of blue hell?
you got to say it like that.
No, Red Wings are red hell, not blue hell. Blue
Yeah,
hell
that
is the
too.
Maple Leafs.
That too.
All right. So which team would you want to talk about in the National Hockey League?
I'm talking about my Blackhawks.
All right. Well, we talked about the Blackhawks. You were wrong. You said he's going to get 100 points when he's going to get 99.1 point. All right.
So he's going to get 101 points. So we're even.
No. Honestly, the staples in the NHL, the original six, the Maple Leafs, Montreal, Rangers, Boston, and all that, right? And it's about time Chicago stands up again. They won 10 years ago. They won back-to-back Stanley Cups and all that. Right? Now they have Bedard, and they don't really have much surrounding him. Okay, that's when do you think because it's good for the NHL, the Leafs, Montreal, Boston, Detroit, Rangers to be like solid foundations, and unlike the arena in Arizona, right? So Chicago, when do you think they're going to come up again? Will it be 2, 3, 4 years and be
2 to 3 years? 2 to 3 years. They have their centerpiece right now. They're going to get another centerpiece. It'll be the second coming of Taves and Kane, only I'm waiting and excited to see who they pair Bedard with. It's going to be some young talent onto that team with the right coach. I say within 2 to 3 years, they'll be hoisting the Stanley Cup again.
All right, so I'm going to say this, okay? I'm going to switch directions. I'm the president. So we're going to close it out. I just thought about this because Alex texting me already. He talks about his favorite team in college football is the Michigan Wolverines.
Go blue.
All right, Brian, Michigan Wolverines, the big house. He's going to switch the Detroit Tigers, Tiger Stadium to the big house. 180,000 people witnessing the president of the province of Canada melting.
I'm sorry you're a fan of the Wolverines because they're not going to do anything this year.
All right, Alex. Go. I want you fired up now. That's insult, man. That's an insult. Go ahead, Alex.
And I said it with a 2.5-foot smile on my face.
Yeah, like I don't know, not do anything. I mean, it's natty or bust this year. So I mean, if you can,
y'all are not gonna get the national championship.
Cool. Who's your team?
Georgia.
Yeah, great. You just pick the one that won the last two. You'll be fine. Just like, George, I'll just hop all over.
Herschel Walker, Bud Ballou, Lindsey Scott, Larry Munson. Don't try me. Okay, if you want me to be completely honest, besides Georgia, my team is embroiled in a scandal right now, and that's the Northwestern Wildcats. I'm from Chicago. But I've been a Georgia fan since 1980. All right?
Fantastic. Fantastic. And I
will say this: when I first really got into college football, because of my parents, one of the stadiums I would love to visit, and I hope to get a chance to do it on this project I got coming up, is indeed the Big House. I want to take in a game in the Big House and see what 112,000 people looks like.
Well, it's crazy. It's crazy, and
I know it is.
It's hard to even think about it until you're actually inside. You can't even see it roadside because it's all underground. It's
right.
It's fantastic.
I've seen Michigan Stadium. Haven't been in there. I want to visit Michigan Stadium. I've seen Ryan Field. I've seen Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. I've seen Camp Randall Stadium in Wisconsin. Don't ask me why. I've seen Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. I have yet to go between the hedges at Sanford Stadium, but there's a big project that I'm going to talk about tomorrow on the show that I want to be a big part of. Oh, hell, I can go ahead and mention it because my wife gave me this idea, and that's to see every doggone stadium that I can. Because I've beaten cancer, now I want to go around the country and take in all the stadiums.
That's awesome.
All right, so that
about
to this question. Hold on, Alex.
Yeah.
I'll start off with you. Is there one stadium he mentioned the Big House he wants to go to and all that? Give me two stadiums that before your time's up that you want to go visit. That they don't even have to play. Just entering the stadium, like what was that Rudy that Notre Dame movie or whatever? Rudy. Just going into that stadium and all that. What about you?
College football again. Jordan Hare. I would love to take in a game at Jordan Hare.
That would be nuts.
Yeah,
that would be nuts.
Yeah, give me an Iron Bowl or something. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any game really. Just to walk in. You know what I mean? 100%.
Is there anyone else?
Not really. There's not. I mean, because obviously, I've been to literally like over 100 Michigan games, and I hold that stadium near and dear to my heart. I really do. It's honestly, it's a home for me in a lot of ways. But at the same time, that's the stadium. That's the only one that's on that level for me, especially in college football.
Yeah, and I get it. For me, it would be Jordan Hare. It would be Sanford Stadium. I've seen Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, but although I saw it from the air, if I had to pick an ultimate stadium, college stadium I'd love to visit, it would be the Rose Bowl, and for a Rose Bowl game.
Yeah,
and
that's what I would say.
And God willing, this coming season, I will have a chance to cover the Rose Bowl.
All right, hold on. I got an idea here. All right, and you say your wife. What's your wife's name?
Jody.
All right. So listen to this, Brian, since I'm the president. All right. What about you re-proposing, all right, at the Rose Bowl? We'll get Alex doing the filming and everything like that. Hey, Alex, come on, I pay you good. You could do some filming. All right. There you go. Re-proposing. Is that a word? I don't know. But anyways, re-proposing at the Rose Bowl. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to try to make that happen between 2023 and 2030.
Okay. Done.
So you got 7 years to make me, not you, to make me $7 million.
Hell, if all goes right, I'll make you more than that.
See, this is why I like
you. You bring on the challenge like that to me, knowing what I've been through. You don't want to test me like that. Hell, I'll make you more than $7 million.
All right. So we're going to close it out here. I'll start off with you, Brian. Tell everybody about Snowman in the morning or afternoon or evening here on the Fired Up Network.
Fired Up Network at Snowman in the morning and the Brian Snow Show. You can catch both in the afternoon. Catch me live on YouTube, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and you can catch the replay right here on the Fired Up Network.
All right. And tell everybody your social media handle.
Snowman Multimedia is my social media handle for my business, and B Snow Multimedia is my personal social media handle.
All right, and you have partners on that show. Let's give them a shout out also.
Cole Johnson, the man in charge of Cole Sports. He has been a brother. He's been a friend. He's my executive producer, my wonderful executive producer, and of course, I cannot have the ability to pursue this without shouting out my beautiful wife Jody, who has given me the green light to go for it all.
All right. So, what and like through everything, all joking aside, we just did an hour of around the world sports here, but through every good man, there's a rock of a lady. Put it that way. And congratulations to your wife and the story that you shared. The cancer survivor. We'll touch on that a little
Thank
bit, throughout the season here and all that, because I think everybody wants to hear that and everything like that. But here's the big question before I go to Alex. Critique Alex Campbell. The only thing I love Alex's hashtag or his social media handles. Go ahead, Alex. Tell them what your social media handles are.
Yeah. I'm at Fired Up Alex. I do. I mean, pretty much
Fired Up
everything.
Alex. You don't need to know anything more. Your name is Fired Up Alex. How apropos is that? But Brian, critique this guy. He's a youngster. He's breaking into the business. He's one of the star players of the Fired Up Network.
Listen, me and Alex are going to go head to head about Michigan Stadium once we visit it together. How about that?
I love that.
No, Alex, you were fabulous. All right, you and Joe and every other show that I go on, y'all always keep me on my toes, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys more than you know. Quick backstory: 2 years ago, was given a death sentence by Duke University Cancer Center, and they said for me and Jody to come home. I'm here in Indiana to get our affairs in order, and Jody said no. Jody said, I'm not having this. So everything's listen, Jody's the reason I'm here. She's rescued me from death twice now, and we'll talk about that at a later date. But if there's anyone I thank with all my heart, it's my wife. It's Jody.
And of course, like I said, The Rock. Any person who's married and all that has to count on their wife, and for that matter, it's today. Listen to this. Look how I tie up everything. I am the president of the province. It's National Girlfriends Day today. All right.
Is that a real holiday?
Yes, it is. I'm making the real holidays. I'm the president.
Hey,
listen.
I'm married, my girlfriend. I'm good.
Yes,
I'm married, my sweetheart.
But when you're married, it doesn't matter. It's still your girlfriend.
You better believe it is.
Girlfriend.
You better believe it is. So I'm married. I'm married. I'm married, my girlfriend, and I'm forever grateful and forever happy.
So, Alex, I'm going to ask you. I know you're married also. What did you get your wife on National Girlfriends Day? So I'm going to get you thrown out of the house if you said nothing.
I wasn't aware that it was National Girlfriend's Day. I feel like this is a cop out. How many of those days do we have, by the way? I mean,
they're 4 hours before.
Plenty.
They're starting to really stack up, I feel.
Hey, they stack up every day for me, and I don't care. I love it.
All right, Alex, tell them what they can expect on the Fired Up Network. Give your social media handles.
So I'm at Fired Up Alex on Twitter, at Fired Up Alex on Instagram as well. I write here on the Fired Up Network for basically all sports: hockey, baseball, football, basketball. Coming soon, college football, which I'm so excited about. I'll cover a lot more than just Michigan. I'm
so excited to help Fired Up Network cover college football this year, because I'm doing some college football games in the play-by-play format with a friend of mine, and I'll be happy to bring it to you guys live every Saturday. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it.
And one thing, Brian, September 2nd, you're doing a play-by-play in Chicago.
I am indeed. We're doing a live call. Yep, it's a live call of Central State and Mississippi Valley State in the Chicago HBCU Classic. Just got the word on that. I'm so happy that we landed that, and we're ready to go with that.
That's awesome. Congratulations! That's that big coup. That's September 2nd. Check out Snowman in the morning, afternoon, evening here on the Fired Up Network. Last thought here. Since we had actually a question. Yeah. It comes from Martin. You asked who's your World Series pick? Who's this? Who's your Stanley Cup pick for the guys? So, Alex, you'll start off. Who's your Stanley Cup pick for the 2023-24 season? Go ahead.
All right, I'll take the Vegas Knights to return to the Cup.
Wrong.
And I'll take them to face off against the Bruins, who will finally get over them.
Oh my God. a casualty against
yeah.
a former team? Yeah, right.
I'll answer that question really quick before I sign off here. I'll take the Vegas Golden Knights not only to return the cup, but I see them hoisting it again. But it won't be against Boston.
And I take the field instead of the Maple Leafs. All right, as spoken by the president of the
I
province.
didn't know that was an option.
That is an option.
Yes,
I made it an option. And by
it
the way,
is now.
That's my choice as well. That's my
Happy
choice as
National
well.
Girlfriend's Day. Go out and get something for your girlfriend or your wife and everything like that. Again, that's Brian Snowman. Check him out, Snowman in the Morning here on the Fired Up Network. Alex Campbell. And Alex, we're going to be back here tomorrow discussing the CEBL playoffs.
I can't wait.
See, look, Brian.
Now it's something I have to dig into.
CEBL playoffs begin this weekend. He can't wait. He can't name me two teams in the playoffs. Anyways, I digress. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more great programming here on the Fired Up Network.